What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Christmas Eve. No. You don't get to do that, Zach. Come here. Hey, guys, welcome on into the Ryan Ripken Show. Happy Christmas Eve here. It's December 23rd. Holiday season's upon us. Last show for at least the next couple days, then we'll get back into it. Zach's obviously festive with the suit. Is it the jacket or suit today?
Oh, it's just a jacket. If we were in the studio, I'd go full suit, but like I did last year. But yeah, I had to keep repping the Iron Rooster. But
class.
You know, it's how you dress. You know, a little Iron Rooster Festivus is like how I like to put it. But what a fun day! Yeah, Merry Christmas Eve to everyone. Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. But yeah, another fun show ahead.
Yeah, so we got two parts of this show going right now. So number one, we are going to talk about a couple of the free agent moves. The former Oriole is now a Pirate. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to go through a couple other of the rumblings around Major League Baseball and what could be the next move here as we approach the holiday, the new year, because there's so many names out there. So we'll get into that and a little bit more. And then at the second half of the show, former Super Bowl champion and Baltimore Raven, Qadry Ismail, is going to join us. And Q is going to talk a little bit about his opinions and thoughts on what the hell is going on with the Ravens. From his perspective, especially being on a Super Bowl winning team and just seeing really, which has come as a shock to everyone, is that the Ravens going into the final 2 weeks of the season are under 500, don't control their destiny, and are on life support when it comes to making the postseason and what direction that they go in moving forward. And then maybe we'll sprinkle in a little bit of holiday cheer, talk about some of our favorite holiday, traditions, Zach, some would say.
Yeah, just as we all drew it up, Ravens need to win this week and rely on the Cleveland Browns to save their season. Don't you just exactly how you drew it up?
Yeah.
Before the season, exactly how we thought it would go.
Exactly how we thought it would go. And also another thing that you might have not thought how this would all go. We are trying to introduce, and I'm seeing in the comment section, we're trying to introduce an actual call in, because we've been having a lot of people with guests that say, hey, we can't do video, but we can do call in. And actually, from a tech standpoint, that'd help us out a lot. And we've actually had a few guests, some really high-profile guests that couldn't do the video but could do call-ins. So actually, the first one we're going to test with this in a few moments is actually least popular of the Ryan Ripken Show, Rocco DeSangro.
Yeah. Does he know we're calling him?
Yeah, I told him we were going to call him. So,
okay, because I was like, he might open with anything.
Yeah.
We had to let him know.
I did tell him we were going to give him a call here. So we appreciate that. We'll get that going here. And shout out to our friends over at Merit Clubs, by the way. Proud partners with us, proud partners with them. Throughout the rest of the year, they had a $1 membership going on at Merit Clubs, which that's a few days away here. So if you still are looking to get on your wellness quest or just have a good old time doing it, $1 to sign up. Go to meritclubs.com for more information. Have a lot planned with them going into 2026. And Zach, how do you spell $1 here?
MERRITT.
When I move, you move.
Just like that.
Just like that. No, so Rocco says he wants to hop on the stream. That's not a part of this.
That's not the point. That's not the point, Rocco.
All right, I'm going to give him a call.
Only Rocco would see us being like, hey, we're trying to test out this thing for other guests. Could you help us out? And be like, well, can I just hop on the stream? Rocco, you're helping us here.
I'm calling him. So here we go. Let's try to give it a go.
Hello?
Oh, my. Rocco,
can you hear him?
I can hear him.
Hello?
Rocco, can you hear us?
Yes.
Can you hear Zach? Can you hear me?
I got you guys.
Okay, can you hear both of us?
Can you hear me?
Hey,
Yes. Once
I
again,
can hear you, unfortunately.
so you can't.
Okay,
Hear,
so he can.
I can't hear Zach. Tell him to
He
speak
can't-
up.
no, so that's a part of the equation here. So we can't.
Are
It's
we
just
live?
because it's coming through. It's coming
Yes,
through
we're
my
live.
airwaves.
Oh, okay.
So just
Wow.
to clarify this, Rocco, you're our first audio call-in. This is a big moment for the show. Because we actually, one of the guests we were trying to get today was Chris Broussard, and he said he couldn't do the video today, but he could do an audio. So we're like, well, we don't want to like waste it on Chris. So you're our little guinea pig.
So you wasted on me.
Yes.
Correct.
So you're saying my time isn't as valuable as Chris?
Not even
Broussard's,
close.
is what you're saying?
Not
right
even
now.
close.
Absolutely. And you can't hear anything that Zach's saying, right?
No, it's beautiful.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Okay.
This is great.
I don't get-
This
he
is
was
like breaking news. First time caller, long time listener. It's great to be on the Ryan Ripken show. Really enjoy my time. So yeah, it's great to talk to the boys right now.
So what's crazy is like it's the best Rocco's ever sounded, Zach. Like if you think
Yeah.
about it, and
Well,
we don't have to
that's
see his
simply
face.
not true right now. Yeah, not true.
Okay. Well, Rock, thanks for calling.
Why don't you send me the link so I can hop on with you guys for a little bit?
Hey,
I like to join the I like to join the party.
Sorry, can you speak up? What'd you say?
I would love.
Oh, sorry, we
lost
dropped the call.
him.
Oh no.
So sad.
Yeah, but so it works.
It works. That's big.
So this is big for us in the studio because
Yes.
that means that when we have everyone together that we all can hear it. This is beautiful. Oh. Hey,
yeah,
cheers
we'll just
to
have
that.
to figure out. Yeah, cheers to that. But
Yeah.
acting like I'm not just drinking sparkling water, but we'll pretend.
Yeah. And look, we like the video component for everything. We know people like the video side. We have a lot of coals in the fire here going into 2026. And I understand we've set a standard here at the show. We want to get back to call-ins, but overall, we're trying to enhance and get a Rolodex of guest list that is much better than Rocco DeSangro. And for our channel members, we're going to try to designate days. And maybe we'll do it also next week, Zach, to confirm with everyone, just get a little housekeeping out of the way.
Yeah.
We're going to keep the 5 days a week going into 2026. And then we are going to have to change the show time. And I apologize. That's a me problem, not a you problem or a Zach problem. Definitely a Rocco problem.
Without a doubt.
And then the last thing I'll say is with that schedule and some other ideas, I'm doing some due diligence to really give our channel members a lot more, but also our whole audience that's growing the most content we've ever had going into 2026. So it's a lot of exciting things. We have a new partner joining the show as well from a sponsorship side. We're really excited about that. So thank you guys for your patience. We appreciate each and every one of you. And if you are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to listen on the audio side, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Rocco didn't like that I hung up on him.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he's like actually upset about it.
Okay, I'll send him the link. But in the meantime, Zach, let's dive into this because the first news that did pop up, a former Oriole is going elsewhere, and this is one I'm super happy about. Ryan O'Hearn, Mr. Bro Hearn, reportedly signed a 2-year deal with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2 years, $29 million. And you know what? I'm so damn happy for him.
Yeah.
First off with this, let me go on this little bit of a rant to start off of just how happy I am for Ryan O'Hearn. This was a guy going back, Zach, to 2023 that was DFA'd, joining an Orioles organization with no guarantee, starts in AAA, and just trying to find himself, try to find a role. And all he did since he got called up to the Orioles is create a spark, create confidence that he knows he belongs, and then became an all-star this past year, which was a very trying year for Orioles fans, trying year for the organization and the players. And then he goes off to San Diego, gets to experience a little bit of playoff baseball. And then he cashes in. Like, this is the dream. And of when you look at, like, I would say it's like it's following the American dream. You get knocked down, you work hard, you feel good, you get to the big leagues with the Royals, then you get told you're not good enough, you're not performing. Instead of, oh, woe is me, you keep grinding, you keep working, and now you're being rewarded with a 2-year, $29 million contract. So damn happy for the guy, Zach. Just before we get into the baseball side of it, Bro Hearn's been a friend of the show, friend of the program.
Yeah.
Really happy for him.
Yeah, and kind of just piggyback off what you're saying. This is what it's all about. This is why you get attached to these players. This is why, in baseball especially, every single day you're watching Ryan O'Hearn grind and go to work. And yeah, he came on this show and he talked about he gets DFA'd by the Royals. The Orioles sign him. He's out playing golf with his buddies, and he gets a phone call from Mike Elias, and he's like, oh, the GM of the Orioles. He's here to congratulate me on coming to the club. And picks up the phone, and Mike's like, hey, Ryan, so we're going to have to DFA you. He's like, oh, DFA'd again. Makes it through. Orioles sign him to AAA coming out of the season. Was a guy that was not really in 23 supposed to do anything. Like, this wasn't a guy that was like, oh, he's joining the club and this is going to be your big difference maker. It was kind of because of some injuries that he even made it up to the squad again. And he did nothing but produce. Every single time his number was called, whether it was off the bench, whether it was starting in the lineup, whether it was as the 8-hitter or the 3-hitter, Ryan O'Hearn went out there and got the job done every single time. And for him to go out there, get 2 years, $29 million, this is what, this is deserving. This is a well-deserved contract and a guy who certainly has earned it more than anyone. He used to, he joked about it on the show with us that he and Brent Rooker, two guys, they were both platooning with each other in Kansas City. And they used to say that combined, they're one damn good ball player, with one hitting off righties, the other off lefties. Safe to say both have carved out nice career paths for themselves. And going to the baseball side, Ryan, I kind of love what the Pirates are doing this offseason. This is a team that is actually going out there and saying, hey, we're going to try to compete. Hey, we have one of the most talented pitchers at a young age that we've ever seen in this league, and we would like to see if we could at least win something with him. There hasn't been that massive move. There hasn't been that Kyle Schwarber $100+ million move that we know they offered, I believe, 120. But Ryan O'Hearn is a dang good player. I'll bring this up real fast. This is Fangraph's projected depth chart for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Suddenly you added Brandon Lowe. Is it Brandon Lowe? Was he Brandon Lowe or Brandon Lowe? They had both of them. I think this is Lowe.
Yeah.
So
it's Brandon Lowe. Yeah. Josh Lowe, Brandon Lowe.
Yes. Yeah. So Brandon Lowe. Added him. Obviously, you had Jake Mangum. You add Ryan O'Hearn. You added Jackson Garcia. They've had a nice offseason. They really have. So I'm excited for them. I think that they are. I'm not saying they're going to win 85 games. I'm not saying this is a playoff team, but it seems like this is a team that can compete to get to 500-ish. And I think that's the baby step, is compete, just be competitive. So I'm hoping for his sake, very happy for him, but for Pirates fans, because that is a fan base that has just gotten, it feels like, nothing as of late for the past decade. So very happy for them. I think they're building something cool here. We'll see what the young guys are able to do, but overall, excited for him and excited for the Pirates.
Yeah, and I got it wrong, Zach, by the way. It's Brandon Lowe and Josh Lowe. Yeah,
once
and I
you
played
said
against Josh Lowe. He was a Tide killer in 2021.
Josh Lowe,
Overall here. Yeah, and sorry. Keep looking. Ollie just keeps banging down the door here. He just wants to spend time with dad. Can you blame him? Hold on a second here. Also, I know we want to talk more, and I think our caller found his way to the back. He doesn't know anything about baseball, Zach, so we could bring him on to talk for a second, and then we can continue on with this conversation because I think it's a very good one. It's a good lineup. I like what the Pirates are doing. Do you want to bring Rocco on or no?
Yeah, I'll bring him on. Rocco DeSangro, friend of the show, friend of the program, not an idiot. Rocco, how are we doing?
Hello, Zach. How are you? It's great to hear your beautiful voice for the first time today.
Yeah, a little disappointing you couldn't hear it earlier, but we move. Move. For the show, it was disappointing, because it would have been cool if we could have used it, but it's okay. You're just rooting against the show. It happens. Rocco, what are your thoughts on Ryan O'Hearn and the Pirates?
Think it's a great fit for both the Pirates and Ryan O'Hearn. Obviously, we in Baltimore know what Ryan O'Hearn brings to the table. Solid veteran presence, big bat, steps up in the big moments, and you want that from a guy that you're going to add into a lineup that does have some power there. So love the move for the Pirates. Hopefully they can turn things around. I don't know if this is like a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan, or 10-year plan in Pittsburgh, but it's good to see O'Hearn get paid at the end of the day, make some good money, considering this is a guy that was DFA'd twice, traded for cash considerations, and now he got a sizable contract with Pittsburgh. So couldn't be happier for the guy. Hopefully he'll attend some Steelers games out there, maybe become a fan, who knows, and go from there. Had to drop that in there. Sorry.
This is why we hung up. This is why we hung up the phone.
Well,
but besides that, just because I don't have it on the screen, they also have guys like, the starting rotation, Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, Braxton Ashcraft, Bubba Chandler, as well the top prospects in all of baseball. Dennis Santana, very good closer. They brought in Gregory Soto, brought in Mason Montgomery, who struggled a bit last year, but obviously Soto has his moments. I just feel like, Rocco, kind of like what you said, this is not a 1 year, okay, we're competing this year. I think they're building something up. I think you compete, in quotes, this year. You compete for the Pirates, which means in my mind they win 78-ish games. And then you hope to take that second jump into that 80 to 85 range. The next year, I think that's why it's a 2-year deal. The one thing that sticks out to me, obviously a different team, but could the Mets not have done this? 2 years, 29 minutes. Like, I feel like they had a massive hole at first base. I know they're saying that what's his name that they just signed? I'm blanking. Polanco could play there, but
from the Mariners.
Yeah, that's learning a new position. I mean, if you want to do Moneyball, where it's like anyone can learn first type thing, I get that. But could Ryan O'Hearn not have filled that void there? Obviously not. I think this is a great get for the almost said the Steelers, for the Pirates. Rockets got me just
good to see the Steelers are on your mind there, buddy.
I'm just looking at Laura's comment.
I think like what you said. Yeah. Oh yeah. So listen, you saw something in the chat and you said never mind.
No, it's not even close.
Not even close.
I digress.
Yeah. Okay, time out.
Because
you know what?
Stop it, Laura, Rocco.
I'm in your corner. I would never make fun of you, laugh at you, make anything out of that. It is what it is. It happens sometimes.
Hey, also the thing is, Zach got the comment right. So everything he said was a factual thing.
Well, anyway, I don't have much more time, unfortunately. I did want to join for a little bit, but you took forever to send over the link. But I do want to say this about the Pirates, because you talked about the trajectory, and what it means. You said, 78 games, potentially win 82 the next year, and kind of, climb the ladder a little bit. I wonder if the Pirates could potentially be on the same path that the Orioles were on when they ended up winning the division, 101 games. Like, you were slowly chipping away. You weren't a playoff team yet, but you were on the cusp. You just missed out on the playoffs. Then you go and win the division. Then you go to the postseason the next year. And then, for the Pirates' sake and their fan base, hopefully it doesn't turn into what the Orioles turned into right after they made the postseason, and they can kind of keep rolling. And for the Orioles, not to talk bad about them, hopefully the O's with the moves they made can get back into contention, stay healthy, and kind of turn things around this season, because they're making the moves. It's nice to see them open the checkbook up a little bit now. But again, talk about it all the time. Getting starting pitching is top priority, and hopefully they can continue to kind of roll in that sense and kind of go from there. So,
yeah, we were talking about the Pirates.
I know. I'm just saying it goes back to the Orioles.
It doesn't.
It does.
Right here. It doesn't.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Hold on
I gotta go before Ariana kills me. Do you want to tell me something though?
No, you did not have to come on here. So
you know what?
Tell you something. What were we?
Yeah, time out. Also, tell Ariana, don't put this blame on me or Zach here. Like, don't be like the guys just forced me on.
You won't listen. And I'll take the brunt of it. It is what it is. And like, we have a nice long hour 45-minute ride to Jersey, so I'm sure I will text you updates and let you know if I'm in hot water or not. If the water's scalding, if it's like warm, but it's probably not going to end up.
You're definitely not a cold plunge type of guy either. No, that's a side note. Hey, maybe we'll have another audio call in.
That would be nice. Maybe I'll call from the road. Who knows?
Nope.
Okay. I hope you don't.
Anyway, all right. Love you guys.
Safe travels.
Bye, Zach.
Bye. Safe travels, Rocco.
Bye, Sheila.
I'm glad we brought Rocco on for that one.
Yeah. It's a good kid. Did
you guys want to tell me anything? You asked to come on.
So he's a good kid. It's good having him back in the shuffle sometimes. It is. To put a little bow on the Pirates though here, and I saw a comment here about you talk about prospects.
Yeah,
Ripken, one of their prospects, and they're going to apparently give him a shot to win the shortstop position, right? But regardless,
he's the number one prospect in baseball. If it happens or not, the one thing I'll give Rocco credit for in this case is talking about he's comparing the Pirates to the Orioles. If you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, what they were lacking and why you always thought they were a good trade partner with teams that had more hitting development or hitting prospects is because they are loaded with pitching talent. And so for the Pirates, if they get a little bit more offense and they get more, pass the baton, scratch and claw, like with Ryan O'Hearn, I think he can be a great glue for that. I hope O'Hearn goes out and hits 100 or gets 100 ribbies, has 30 jacks, but realistically his game, if he has 20 and 70 ribbies, that's a really, really good overall year. But the bigger thing for me is his value as a bat in the lineup, that he's a tough out. He makes pitchers work, and the Pirates need more of that. And if he can glue together with that and they add maybe one more big bat to their lineup, which they've already had two, but if they add another one, if they pitch like they did last year, Zach, this team is going to be in playoff contention. Like, they're going to compete to be a playoff team so long as their pitching stays healthy. But I do think this was two really solid moves that they've made this offseason, and hopefully that continues to put them in a place. And outside of like the Central, I know the Brew Crew, we're going to expect them to be in it, and the Cubbies are in a weird spot. But the Central overall, yeah, okay, Brewers, the Pirates could overthrow the Cubs to be the second team in that Central. Like, I know the Reds really haven't made much moves this offseason, Zach. So, like, when you're looking at the Reds, the Pirates, the Brewers, two of those teams could make the playoffs next year out of the Central. So, time will tell. Happy for Ryan O'Hearn, though. Again, you scratch and claw. Go ahead. Just looking at this is one of those, like, holy crap, I feel old. I was going through the Pirates prospects right now, and their 28th prospect is Wilbur Dotel, who is Octavio's son. So
nice.
Gosh. But listen, they're prospects. They have guys. Bubba Chandler, top pitching prospect. He's going to start in the majors. The password, Joxton. I'm so sorry that I butcher it. Garcia. He's going to be a guy. He's starting in the majors. Tamar Johnson was in consideration for the first overall pick when the Orioles took Jackson. He's a guy. He is a bat first, second baseman, shortstop. I'm assuming he's going to stick at second, although they kind of got some guys now over there. This is a very like, hey, prospects are prospects. They're not sure things, but they got a lot of good lottery tickets. That's the way I'm going to put it. The Pittsburgh Pirates have a lot of good lottery tickets. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 6 guys in the top 85 prospects in all of baseball. 3 of which I would assume if Connor Griffin starts, let's say he starts with the team, which they've kind of hinted at him doing. That's 3 of those guys, Garcia, Barco, and Griffin. Oh, sorry. Actually, it would be 4 of them. Barco, Chandler, and Griffin all starting on the major league team this season. That's going to be a young, exciting team. And I love that they said, hey, you know what we need? We need a guy in the locker room like Ryan O'Hearn. Because how many times have we talked about with young teams, there's not that leader there. They need that leader in the clubhouse. There's Ryan O'Hearn. Ryan O'Hearn's going to go in. He's probably going to bat 3rd or 4th because he's going to be one of your best hitters. But he's also going to be a guy that everyone will gravitate to in the locker room, in the clubhouse. So love that pickup for the Pirates.
Yeah. And you know what, overall for the Pirates, to close that chapter, and we'll move on. For their fan base, you wanted to see them go out and be aggressive. They have. They didn't land Schwarber, but they showed interest. And instead of going and signing free agents, if you're not going to spend the money on some big name guys, go make smart moves. You get Lau. You get a very, I think, smart move in Ryan O'Hearn, a guy that's been proven that can fit and be a really good presence for your team and be an offensive player that can make an impact. So far, the Pirates, they got more work to do, but it's a good offseason for them. Same can't be said for the entire rest of the league, and we're going to get into that here, Zach, in a second. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Brian Ripken Show, it's our Christmas Eve special. Hanging out here. We will be changing the time of the show going into 2026. We won't be live at 5 anymore, but we will still be doing the show Monday through Friday. There's a couple things I'm solidifying, and when baseball season comes about, as you guys know, I do some work for 105.7 The Fan, do pregame show, radio, but I might have some other work on top of that as well. So excited to tell you guys more of that, but we're only getting started here at the Ryan Ripken Show. So if you're new, hit that like and subscribe. If you're listening on the audio side, Spotify, Apple, also click subscribe, follow, and leave us a message. It all helps us. We appreciate you guys. Zach, the rest of baseball here, there has been a lot of movement so far and some aggressive movement from teams like Baltimore. The Red Sox, who were dormant, but then they've been making these trades. Their biggest trade came obviously with Wilson Contreras going to, Wilson. Yeah, I'm losing my mind. Williams on the Brewers, who was catcher. Different. Well, they both were catchers.
Both started, and then they tried Wilson out in the outfield at first.
Correct.
Two brothers, and I'll say to start off, really looked like it was Wilson was just the best. 2 guys that are just 2 solid ball players.
Good ball players.
Really solid ball players.
That's why the Red Sox traded for him, because they traded for his bat. And so the Red Sox got that move situated. And so I'd consider that's like one of their bigger moves so far in the offseason. Why am I blanking on
Sonny
who else
Gray.
they brought in?
Sonny
Gray, Contreras.
I'm a little concerned though, because now at least there's rumors that they could be in trade talks with the Cardinals for Brendan Donovan. And I'm starting to think that Chaim Bloom just wants to send all of his best players to the Red Sox, because that would be the third trade that the Red Sox and
why don't just put them all together?
I'm saying you could have just traded Wilson a few weeks ago, had it all in one. You could have combined press conferences. Could have been way easier. But no, the Red Sox are being aggressive. Red Sox are being aggressive, and they are taking advantage of teams like the Cardinals that are trying to shed some money, that are trying to get some young prospects back. Cardinals are very clearly in a rebuild. They're trying to get rid of all their aging players, guys that aren't going to be a part of the future competitive teams of the Cardinals. So Red Sox are taking advantage. They've added two very solid players in Sonny Gray and Wilson Contreras from there, and it now opens up different questions of one, let's say Tristan Casas. One, is this because he's not going to be healthy and you're afraid of that? Or two, is it you're saying, hey, we love Casas. We think he's going to be a part of a trade or something because that's when he's healthy, he's got pop. Talk about a guy with pop. So maybe that's another trade piece down the line.
There's a lot. Like, this is the part here. The Red Sox I've seen Jared Krabus sometimes be a little frustrated over there. And we're going to have Jared on here in the future because I love to hear his spirited debates on the Sox. But overall, though, they are doing their homework. And I do think that they haven't settled on what's going to happen with Alex Bregman. I know that there's things are they too far apart? I still think the best fit is for Bregman to go back to Boston. But overall, like, they're doing their homework. They're going to continue to be aggressive. They're going to continue to mix and match. The Toronto Blue Jays have already been aggressive. They're going to continue to mix and match. And I wouldn't be surprised if they still land another big fish out there in the free agent market. But then out of all the teams here, Tampa's been aggressive, but in a different way. They've traded to get some younger prospects. Obviously, with the Orioles, got a haul of young prospects plus a pick. And then they brought in Cedric Mullins. You can't escape them. And so they're being strategical, but they're still using this time to try to better their team and organization moving forward. But then there's the Yankees. And the Yankees right now haven't really made any splash yet. So I think when we're trying to look at all of what these next moves could be, Zach, New York is the one team that needs to make that next move. And overall, it all comes down to, for the Yankees, you're trying to keep up. It looks like the holdup is around one Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
I like it just.
But does that concern? If you are a Yankee fan, does that concern you? Because, I mean, we've seen the way that at least the projections of what Cody Bellinger is asking for, what is it? It's like 10 years, 400 million. Like, he's like, hey, he and Scott Boras are going for the moon. Now they are going to very much come back to reality before he gets signed. But you have this big contract for Bellinger. I understand. I refuse to believe that the Yankees offered Trent Grisham a qualifying offer thinking there was no chance he took it, because I've seen a lot of things that is hindering their offseason, because they're like, hey, we didn't expect to be giving him $22.5 million a year. I refuse to believe they'd be. I would call that straight incompetence. If you're like, oh, we'll give you $22 million, you're not going to accept that, and then he accepts it, and you're like, oh boy, that would be a whole different. So I'm going to give Cashman the benefit of the doubt and believe that they knew there was a chance to go out there and he would take it. So that was a part of a plan. But okay, let's say you sign Bellinger to that big deal. And now it's like, okay, now the offseason is starting. Like, the offseason's in its, peak right now. Like, all the names are starting to come up. They're so focused on Bellinger. It's like they're spending all this money to run it back. And it's not like they went to the World Series. It's not like, this isn't a year ago when they were coming off of, hey, they won the AL East. They won the AL pennant. Every team in the American League East is getting better, and it feels like the Yankees, I understand they weren't the greatest. I still really like Luke Weaver and Devin Williams. I think they had their moments. Luke Weaver was very good for a majority of the time in New York, but they're like fighting and scratching and clawing to get back to that roster from last year, and I don't know if every other team improving, if how that's going to leave them. I understand they're getting Garrett Cole back. Their pitching is going to be great if healthy. If healthy, their pitching is going to be lights out. But I'm struggling to see where they are improving offensively this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing for the Yankees. They need the offensive help. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna stay on this pedestal here. I believe the Yankees starting rotation is the best in the American League East if those guys are healthy. If Garrett Cole is healthy, you have Rondon, Cole, Heel. I might be missing on somebody here because my brain's a little bit smushed.
Max Fried.
But yeah, oh yeah. How can I forget the guy that could have won the Cy Young for them last year? So, who was in contention? Like that rotation is disgusting. So, and then you have Aaron Judge, which Aaron Judge can carry an offense and lineup, but for them to get back to winning the AL East or continuing on, they need another bat. Cody Bellinger's value is so important. You can argue it's the most important value to the Yankees than any other free agent because he fit in there. He's versatile and they need it. Now you wonder if the Yankees are still going to make some other moves in the infield, still around the shortstop position. They're still trying to figure out their.
Volpe's going to be out the first month now. Whether, depending on what Yankee fan you ask, that's a good or bad thing. But it just feels like that Yankees lineup, like going into the offseason, it was the classic, like, oh, the Yankees, they're going to be in on, is Bichette going to go there? Is Tucker going to go there? Are they just going to get Bellinger plus Imai? And now it's looking like we'll see what happens with Imai. If they add Imai, that rotation becomes disgusting. But for sure, but it's looking like potentially he's leaning the Cubs. So it's like if they miss out on Imai, you definitely have to trade for a guy. I know they're looking for one more starter. Have to trade for a guy. But just feels like they're trying to get that offense back to what it was last year. Now, granted, I believe they were the number one ranked offense in the American League. They were the highest scoring offense. So it's not like you're running back a team that was middling offensively. But, I see Brad talking about it in the comments, and he brought up yesterday, no one's getting younger, no one's getting – suddenly Aaron Judge isn't going to be 28. Cody Bellinger isn't going to be 28. Giancarlo Stanton isn't going to 27. Like, these guys aren't getting younger. It feels like each year guys become more and more question marks. So I'm just very curious. I mean, it's the Yankees. I will never count them out. I'm penciling them in for 90 wins no matter what. That's a baseline. But it just feels when the rest of the AL East feels like they're really, hey, we're swinging big. The Yankees are swinging big to get their guys back, and I'm not sure how much it really is going to take them to that next level unless they sign an Imai.
I mean, Imai would definitely move the needle as far as, intrigue, a Japanese star coming over, the firepower. But at the end of the day, for the Yankees, and here it is for them. To your point, they stay healthy with the rotation and Aaron Judge is healthy, they're going to win a lot of games. But the part is, do they have the lineup that's going to be productive in the postseason? And right now, with what they've had and what they've shown, that's going to be the question mark, because you can pitch around Judge and you have to be able to. Last year, the Yankees hitting philosophy in the postseason, they struck out a ton. And the Blue Jays were the opposite. They were hard to get out. That's the reason why they went all the way to the World Series and should have been, well, shouldn't say should have. They had the opportunity to win the World Series, one out, one sequence away from it happening and all that, and so on and so forth. But they have a decision to make. Do you trade some of your young prospects? Do you call up some of your young prospects? Like the Spencer Jones situation is the one we'll continue to monitor. If people don't know who that is, like they have to make a choice. But at least for 2026, take out the age. In 2026, will the Yankees compete? Absolutely. Cody Bellinger on that team, Will the Yankees be right kind of where they want to be? Yes. Now, the Yankees moving forward to 27 and beyond, that's a whole different story here, but you're going to be wondering what direction they're going to go. But the Yankees are still the Yankees. There's no doubt about it. So why don't we do this little exercise?
I have one last thing I want to say. So last year, I keep talking about Yankees led the league in home runs. It wasn't close. They had 274. Dodgers were second with 244. Mariners actually third. They had the most runs scored in all of baseball at 849. The Dodgers second at 825. Here's where I'm kind of concerned, though. Trent Grisham had 34 of those home runs, 74 of those RBIs in what was by far and away a career year. Jazz Chisholm, I think he works out there because 31 homers, 80 RBIs, short porch, he can do that. Giancarlo Stanton, we'll see if he gets a full season. He only played in 77 games last year, but he hit 24 homers, had 66 RBIs. Ben Rice, I know you as well. Big Ben Rice guy. I think that's a guy they need to get more playing time. Jason Dominguez, obviously, they're going to have to get more playing time. But it feels like a lot of their guys, Grisham, Chisholm, you're just relying on that's literally their top three home run hitters. It's Judge at 53, Grisham at 34, Chisholm at 31. Can you rely on them having those career year numbers again? It just feels like they might have really hit all at the right time last year. That's why I think it's a huge risk with Grisham, because you are paying him for a year where he was by far and away his best season. They were the best team offensively in baseball. When you look at all the stats last year, I'm just wondering if they run it back with almost the same offense, if you can expect them to still be that dominant.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess from a stat point, I don't think the stats always tell the tale of it, but you're right. It still was better than what people anticipated. And one thing that it will be monitoring for me, at least for them, is what happens with Ryan McMahon. If Ryan McMahon can somehow, right, because they traded for him, he's under contract, he's a great defensive third baseman, and he has pop, but his average over the last 2-3, or really over the last year and a half, has continued to drop a little bit. But if he can get back to hitting 240, 250 with 20 jacks, it's going to help that lineup out a lot. But time will tell for the Yankees. So why don't we do this quick little drill here about what we think the next move's going to be, maybe around the AL East. So let's do the next move, brought to you by our friends over at Next Move Charm City. And if you are ready to make your next move, make the right move with Next Move Charm City. Shannon and Brett are going to help you out. And also Rich and the Belanger team over at Lone Depot. They are here to make your experience the best, whether it's through cities, suburbs, or shore. Make the right move with Next Move Charm City. Appreciate you guys. So, Zach, let's talk about what the next move could be. I actually think the next move is going to be from the Baltimore Orioles, because I think the pitching landscape here is the next domino to fall. You know, in some cases, the hitters market, there's still no real demand yet. It's kind of like a game of chicken. We're talking about with Cody Bellinger and the Yankees. Kyle Tucker's trying to find the value. And I'll be honest, I bet, or I'd say I don't even know what the hell I'm going to bet at this point. I'm losing my train of thought. But I'll say this. If I'm Cody Bellinger, I'm waiting for Kyle Tucker to sign that deal. Because if Kyle Tucker signs that deal and you think you're comparable, I want a little bit more money. So with that being said, I think a starting pitcher, then there's a little bit more of urgency after Michael King. You don't want to wait so much longer for a big move to happen. So I'm going to say the Orioles are going to sign a pitcher here. I'm still going to lean on the Ranger Suarez train. I still think it will be him. But regardless, that will be my next move that I think will be happening. Do you agree, Zach, or do you think there's another move that will take place?
I'm going to agree that I think Ranger Suarez. I just feel like, so for Orioles, I think Ranger Suarez is the next move. I just feel like that's I was going back and forth, a week ago on, okay, is it a free agent? Is it a trade? They obviously made the trade for Boz. So I'm going to say that, I would have said Mackenzie Gore maybe a week ago. I don't think they're in on Freddie Peralta anymore. I think they were, but I think once you got Boz, you want something maybe more long-term still. So I think Ranger Suarez, I think that's safe to say. But yeah, if it's all of baseball, especially if we're sticking in the East, I would not be surprised if we get the Alex Bregman news soon. I just feel like, and I want to say he goes back to Boston, but I see Boston fans talk about like, oh, Arizona's not a serious contender. Oh, Arizona every few years just has that like one big free agent that no one really pays much attention to them, and then they get him. So I'm gonna agree with you. I think Ranger Suarez is going to be the next move, and I'm pretty confident that he'll be the next move, at least to sign, and especially the first pitcher, big time pitcher off the board. But I also feel confident it's going to be in Baltimore.
So we're on that train. I like the Alex Bregman though as the next piece. And going out of the AL East, one thing, a team that I believe will make a move because they have been making moves to not re-sign guys or dump in a trade, that's the New York Mets. I think the Mets are primed to make some move here soon, Zach. It feels – you saw Steve Cohen's tweet and he's saying, oh, you think I'm not going to spend money? Well, hey, hold – I don't have a beer or my tequila. Hold my LaCroix here. We're going to go get somebody. It feels that the Mets, in my mind, they're arming up to do something here. The rumor could be for Marte, but I think they're going to go out and get a big piece. That's another team I would be watching. But AL East, man, they're the big spenders right now, and that's why I wanted to have that next move conversation, because you can sense the damn urgency from these teams. If you want to compete this year, you better buck up, you better spend some dough, and you better fill that need. And we found out this year earlier with Baltimore and Mike Elias, everything he said has been true, that they're going to go out and make moves. They have, and they've also learned the lesson from last year. Not going to get burned twice. The Blue Jays are not going to stop being aggressive. Neither will the Red Sox. And even though the Yankees are dormant, don't sleep on the Yanks. They're the Bronx Bombers. They got something up their sleeve. They always do. And you know what, Zach?
What's that? And also, real fast, I want to know if I'm crazy, because I've been thinking about this for a few days. Am I crazy for thinking 90 wins the AL East again?
Yes.
But the way I'm looking at it is there's so much talent that I would not be surprised if every team goes pretty 500 against each other. Like, it just feels like, and obviously the way the schedule is now, you're not playing your division as often, but it almost feels like the AL East, like it's going to be more important how you do outside of the AL East, because everyone's kind of going to be, okay, so-and-so took 2 of 3, but then they lost 2 of 3 when they saw them. The next time they're splitting 4-game series. It just feels like there's so much talent that now one team might dominate another team, all of that, but it just feels like the AL East is really going to be about how can you perform against the AL Central, the AL West? Like, how can you, when you get opportunities to win, you're going to have to capitalize, because when you're facing off against the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, you're going to have to almost hope you're going like 500-ish around that, because there's so much talent. I wouldn't be surprised if it's another similar situation where 90 to 92 wins gets you the AL East, because the teams are going at it so much.
I mean, it's a competitive division. It's going to be competitive, and each team can beat up on one another, but I do think from top to bottom, they're going to be tough. And I think because of the configuration, though, Zach, of them not playing as many division games, I think that benefits those teams in the AL East, because you really would beat the hell out of each other. And I would think even it would take less, because I think that each team's going to match up well against one another. But this AL East is shaping up to be one of the most competitive divisions probably over the last decade in Major League Baseball, like from top to bottom, like truly. And I'm excited to see that. As a baseball fan, I'm excited. That's what you want. That's what you want to see. So time will tell. That's really kind of all it is. One other note I wanted to mention, I think I saw Jacob Webb signed with the Cubbies, if I saw that correctly.
Did he just sign?
I thought I saw something about it.
Let me see.
There's a report out there, that he's signed.
Yeah.
It's a Jacob Webb 1-year deal with the Cubbies. Hey, good reliever. And you
Everyday
know what,
Webb.
Zach? There's so
Everyday
many
Webb.
good players on the market. So many. A lot of good players on the market here, and we'll see. There's going to be a lot of them are going to be available going into 2026.
Jacob Webb back. I would have loved Jacob Webb back.
Well, Zach, he's not coming back. Okay.
Oh, I get that now, but I feel like. Oh, actually, this is just
what?
Need to sign Will Smith, the pitcher, if they want any chance.
Yeah,
Will Smiths are the only names. You have to have a Will Smith on your roster to win the World Series if it's in the past 7 years. So might have to go. Will Smith is available. Might have to go get him. Even if he's not as productive these days, you just got to have him on the squad.
You got to do it. Squad up, baby. Squad up. And let us know, too, what you guys think the next move will be and what you plan to see. Baseball doesn't sleep, but I believe that we're not going to see any moves here on Christmas Day, I would think. But you know what? Crazier shit's happen. So time will tell. The gift that keeps on giving is the MLB offseason. When you think something's going to not happen, it's going to happen. We will talk a lot of baseball. You guys know here, backbone of what we do, but it is still football season. And we do have a great guest joining us at 6:30. We got Qadry Ismail, former Ravens Super Bowl champion, wide receiver. He's got some thoughts on what's been going down because as much as baseball is approaching, the World Baseball Classic, by the way, which we'll dive into next week because the U.S. team is loaded with talent so far, and that's going to be a blast. Then you're going to have the regular season. But right now, the NFL season's been absolutely bonkers. But at the headline of all this, actually, for not the right reasons, is what the hell's happening in Baltimore? What's going on with the Ravens? 7-8, 2 games to go on life support for making the postseason. It's not what anyone thought going into, but a lot of different people have discussed what this means for the Ravens. And actually, I found that clip, Zach, and I'll try to pull it up, of Bruce Arians was talking about it on the McAfee show about, I felt like every, analyst out there, when it's been asked about should the Ravens move on from John Harbaugh, season's not over yet, but the answer for people is yes. Like, I don't think I've heard one person until Bruce Arians say, you should keep him. Right? Like, I feel like that's everything that's been out there. Have I missed anything there?
No, the consensus is pretty much need a change in Baltimore. So do you have that video?
I thought I did. Hold up. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. I had to bookmark it. And while we're bookmarking and while I'm getting it set up here, you have any? I was going to say good traditions. Mama B, Zach, whatever is in those damn peanut butter blossoms.
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
Very. Trust me, I know. I gained like 45 pounds. It feels like. Oh
my gosh, dude! And then the pretzels and adding the chocolate to it is just. How am I supposed to?
I do have the clip though, if we need it.
Oh, you got the clip. Oh, that'd be great. But yeah, shout out Mama B for that. But
yeah, shout out Mama B.
So all the pundits out there are saying John Harbaugh it's time to move on. But Bruce Arians has different thoughts here. One on the Pat McAfee show and talked about the Ravens situation. So let's play that clip for you guys.
There will be wholesale changes in Baltimore this offseason. Lamar Jackson might be gone. Harbaugh might be gone. The Ravens are about to enter a completely different era. BS or no BS? BS.
That's total bullshit, brother.
What?
Whoa.
Lamar ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
And I don't think the owner's going to move anything on John. They need to get healthy, but they got to get back to the Ravens' way of defense. What I'm watching is not the Ravens. The Ravens were the toughest, baddest bunch of son bitches I've ever played against, and with Suggs. And you go all the way back to all the pass rushers they've had, Haloti Ngata and Ray Lewis, all those guys. I don't see the alpha, mean, tough dogs on the Baltimore Ravens defense. They got to get back to that, and they'll be right back.
Do you think they'll be able to do that in one offseason, D-Blood? It's hard to shift a culture back to something, right, once it's already been
I mean,
it's BA's eyes.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer, obviously, in talent, and I think Harbaugh is a good coach, and that's who they've kind of historically been at their core. So, yeah, I think they can get back to that.
All right, maybe Baltimore bounces back with the same pieces. I know the Baltimore Ravens fans will be pumped up about that, AJ. I know they'll be excited about that.
Yeah, I think so. But I think one or two people can change the whole culture of the defense. I think you can do that.
Well, what's going on with Indianapolis then? Because I thought Lou Anarumo was coming over.
I mean, injury, things, people get hurt, things happen, man, you know.
We got no first rounders, got no quarterback.
Got 2 Pro Bowlers, though.
Yeah. And at least you didn't pay Danny Dimes before all this happened.
No, we should have.
You lose those corners, that changes everything. That's like losing both your offensive tackles.
Yeah. And when are they playing again? Are they?
Knows?
Probably not this season.
No.
Thanks.
Hey, you got
Godspeed, boys. We need you.
Trevor Lawrence and the Jags.
So that got pretty funny down the stretch there. But let's dive into it more. And I'd love to hear Q's take when we do have him come on here in the next 9 minutes. We're going to have Q for about a hot 10 minutes, Zach. So we're going to get to it with him. But hey, Bruce Arians is saying it's total bullshit that the Ravens move on for the Lamar Jackson part. That is,
I think that's what he was talking about.
But he also, but he did say that he thinks they'd run it back with Harbs too. And I think overall, I know everyone's reaction. I don't like to jump down to those conclusions until the season's all the way over. I know people are very reactionary. I don't like to do that. It's not my style. But the reasoning for Bruce is saying you've had success, but the bigger part that I thought that was interesting, he just does. This has been the underlying thing, Zach. He doesn't think the defense has a killer instinct, and I think that's been talked about for a while.
Yeah, it doesn't, and I think the culture starts with your head coach. Like he kept talking about the culture. Oh, they need to get back to this culture. The head coach is the one who establishes the culture. You want a defensive culture next year? Go get Brian Flores as your head coach. Like that, you want some energy? Go get Brian Flores. Go get Minter. Go get someone. I just personally, I think talked about it before. They said it. Harbaugh is a good coach, but at the end of the day, there's a difference between being a bad coach and needing a change, just needing a change in message. John Harbaugh is going to get picked up if the Ravens move on from Harbaugh. He will be a head coach anywhere he wants, any destination he wants, whenever he wants. He will get that opportunity. I have no doubt about that. And he will be a good coach elsewhere. I just think it's time that they have a new message. I think he's right. This isn't the Baltimore Ravens culture we're used to. This is back-to-back years where they start off and it is abysmal on the defensive side. And to me, it just seems like it's one of those things where, yes, it is total BS that Lamar Jackson will be gone from Baltimore next year. I see no way ever that Lamar is elsewhere. I just don't. There's no way that happens. But I think it is very reasonable, and I think it is likely at this point, especially if, let's say, they lose one of the next two, even if they lose both of the next two, that they would finish under 500, and you went from, on paper, the Super Bowl favorites. I understand you missed a few weeks of Lamar. You had a few hiccups here and there. But even with Lamar, I mean, you were the blown leads. I mean, that's the most blown leads in the past 2 years. What is it with? It's ridiculous. They just need a change. They need a different message. I don't think it's a Harbaugh bad coach type of thing. I know that's a big thing out there. It's like, oh, Harbaugh's a horrible coach. Harbaugh's a good coach. I think, unfortunately, after what would it be 18 years, message kind of gets stale. You just maybe need some new life in there. That's the only thing that I'm on. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just think it is a change of scenery is needed for both parties.
Yeah, I just still think all of it's too early for anyone to make the choice on it. I hate having the conversation before the season's done. I just always hate it. I understand the reality is the Ravens are 3-6 at home. They've lost 3 primetime home games for the first time in feels like ever.
0-4 in primetime this year.
The offense has regressed. There's the bigger part here on both offense and defense is a word called identity. The team doesn't have an identity, and the Ravens' identity for the entire duration of the organization's existence has been physical and tough. And for the first time in probably the 30 years, they aren't considered a tough team. It's not daunting to face the Baltimore Ravens. Even when they were struggling, Zach, and they had the down years, they still had a physical impact. They just weren't very good. But there's not been very many years where they haven't been good. But yes, it does bode the question, what happens here in the next couple weeks? But crazier things have happened. What happens here if no doubt about it.
Listen, if they somehow sneak in and go on a run and everything, it's all fine and dandy. I just think right now, before the season, kind of the bottom line was if they didn't make the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship, mightn't have to move. Finishing under 500 opens up a whole different can of worms there. So we'll see what happens. They have to let the final 2 weeks play out, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely go from there, see what's happening. It's crazy, though, when you look at the landscape of the National Football League, there's a changing of the guard here at some point.
Yeah.
With the Chiefs are not going to be in the postseason. There's a spot vacated from the AFC Championship game, which hasn't been the case for the last 8 years. There will be 2 new teams in the AFC Championship game this upcoming year. Well, I guess Buffalo has an opportunity to punch its ticket back to it. But it's been the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl every year from the AFC minus one Cincinnati Bengals team over the last years. So time will tell, Zach, on what's going to happen. But I think the point is, regardless of it, is the AFC North and the AFC moving forward, the Ravens are still going to be a contending team as long as Lamar Jackson's the quarterback. And for the group that they have and who they have, there's more questions. The crazy thing is there's more questions throughout the rest of the AFC North than there is with the Baltimore Ravens. It's just the expectation that is thrusted on the Baltimore Ravens. Like, that's why we're having this conversation, because people put the Ravens in a team level better than the Steelers and the Bengals, and they're not performing to that. And that's the excuse, that's the part, at least, where if Harbaugh doesn't come back, it's going to be because the expectations fell so short with the team. When you look around the league, the San Francisco 49ers were missing their starting quarterback. They have their top 2 defensive players out for the season. And yet they win their next 2 games. They're going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. There's so many other teams throughout that have battled through their own hardships and are there to make a postseason run. Right. So, and for the Ravens, that's been the case. No doubt about it. I can see Ollie's trying to break through the door here. Can't help. I mean, he gets fired up talking about football here. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But yeah, go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say, it's a fun time of year for football. It's just, unfortunate for the Ravens. I mean, maybe Kyle Hamilton was right. A little spoiled. I'm used to competing right now. Not me personally, but I just feel like this is an unprecedented year in Baltimore, even with Lamar missing some games. We'll see what happens Saturday. But hey, they're still in it. Ryan, I can't shake this feeling that the Browns are going to do it on Sunday.
Hey, Denzel Ward was out there saying he's ready to ruin the Steelers season.
But here's the thing, without DK, because even if his suspension is upheld or, bumped down to one game, that Cleveland offense is pretty good. Or defense, sorry. It's the offense that's going to need to, yes, apologies. That was a massive mix up. That defense is pretty good. It's whether or not if they can score 17 to 21 points, maybe we got a ball game. We'll have to do it without Quinshon Judkins, which also hurts, but we'll see what happens.
Did you hear Ollie's squeak toy?
Yeah. We just started, he's just having fun. He's fired up.
He's just a pup having fun. Yeah, and we will have Q joining us here in a moment. When he's ready, we'll rock and roll. But overall, Zach, it is crazy how in a blink of an eye this season's about over. Felt like things just started. And because of what's happened, it's the most that I've heard people excited and anticipated for the year to be over. And that's something that we haven't really experienced with the Ravens in quite some time. Truly, it's a little bit unprecedented. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
It's not the standard in Baltimore. I think that's why something needs to change, because there is a precedent that's been set and there is this standard that's here of winning and playing like a Raven, all of that. And it feels like this year, I agree, going back to Bruce Arians real quick, I agree wholeheartedly. They are missing that dog on defense. And that's the thing, Kyle Hamilton's a dog. There are guys that are, but there's that tough, gritty, someone that's kind of one. And for a while I thought it was Roquan, but it hasn't been the best years from him, at least compared to what he was at some point. Losing Matabike does not help. It feels like at this point something's got to happen defensively, and they got to figure something else out with wide receivers and all of that. It's just, we'll see what happens. This is going to be the most interesting offseason I think I can remember, but besides that whole year with Lamar's contract. That was horrible. His the whole transition, the tag and all that.
That wasn't even horrible. That was good old drama.
But that's what I'm saying. That was
anywhere.
No, I know he wasn't going anywhere. But as we're sitting there at the draft, and they're like, "Yeah, we might have to pick Will Levis in the second round if we don't know Lamar's." I was just that draft day, one of the greatest. Just thank you I've ever had, because you get that notification because it went all the way up to draft day. We had Odell and we didn't have Lamar technically. It was just, I was so over turning on ESPN every day and the number one topic being, oh, so what team's Lamar actually going to sign with? Oh, Lamar's requesting this. Lamar. It's just, we're going to see what happens.
Yeah. You know what? We ain't worried about it. All's going to be good. All's going to be great. Not gonna go, humbug and Grinch. I have a Grinch shirt, Zach. I gotta find it. You being all dressed up made me want to pull out my Grinch shirt.
Do you not? Wait, is it not with you right now?
No, it's somewhere. I can't find it right now.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just, I decided to be a little festive. So what can I say?
One of us has to, at least.
It's the holidays. This used to light up. It doesn't anymore, but this used to have a battery.
There's a magic wand, apparently, where you can use it and it can turn on your Christmas tree. It's pretty wild.
Do you have it? Do you like have
No,
that?
no, I saw it online today.
Ooh.
You know, might have to make a purchase.
Yeah, but yeah, no. When I first purchased this 7 years ago, it did light up, which was a cool party trick. But now it's just.
Well, hey, real quick before we have Q join the program and talk a little bit of ball. Christmas tradition in the Bollinger household is what? One tradition.
I'm trying to figure out.
Like, do you wear pajamas as a family?
Like, I don't know if that's like, no, we don't really do that. Like it used to be, like, obviously, like grandparents would come over. My grandfather way back when he was around would come over, like that kind of stuff when I was younger. But we have like the family Christmas party. We had that over the weekend. More that stuff, you know, like I would say like that stuff. I'm trying to think of traditions. I'm not sure.
Well,
I'll have to think. I'll have to let that marinate.
Holiday traditions like no other here. And Q, you let us know when you're ready. You let us know. But overall, the traditions I wear. Oh, he's ready. Oh, perfect. Well, Zach, I can tell you a little bit more about my tradition here, and maybe it gets a little bit graphic. Maybe we'll save it for Rip After Dark. But why don't we get to our guest here so he can get back? He's a busy man. I know he's had to cover a lot of this, and he's the right person to talk to with everything going on today. He's my friend. He's your friend. You hear him on the airwaves if you're in the Baltimore region. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's a former Baltimore Raven. Let's bring on Qadry Ismail. Q. Can you hear me?
Fellas. Mother of pearl. Woo.
Woo is right. How you doing?
I mean, I'm doing well, and I am just sitting here kind of I don't know. I don't know. I'm in a good space, but I think mentally when it comes to just what I thought was going to happen in the beginning of the year and what is actually happening like right now, whew, man, here we are. We're about to watch this Ravens team either implode and go completely backwards, or we're going to see the miracle of all miracles. But here we are.
Yeah, well, the miracle of all miracles for those that don't know, the Ravens got to go into Lambeau, win, and then the Brownies have to beat the Steelers, who the Steelers have absolutely owned the Browns since feels like forever. So, and then on top of it, the Ravens got to go into Pittsburgh and win in the final week to then clinch the division and try to make a run and make people forget that the Ravens are 3-6 at home this year, lost or they're defeated in primetime games and all that stuff. But Q, before I get to the hard-hitting question, because Bruce Arians actually had some comments and I want to hear your perspective on it because he went against the grain. But can you explain in the locker room when you're in this situation, right? And you've had moments where things have been great, and then you can tell, and from the outside, you're going to hear all the right things. You're going to say, we're going to keep fighting. We got to play better. It's kind of a lot of the coach speak, but there's some problems, what is that like as a team when you know that there's things that maybe can't be said, but it's clearly impacting the team, if you know what I'm saying?
And the elephant in the room, in my mind, did you want to play Bruce Arians' clip, or did you have a quote that he was saying or something that he mentioned?
Well, so the thing about it, we'll play this beginning part here, Q, and maybe this goes with, because it's about Harbaugh. They're saying about
that's I'm about to say. I mean, the elephant in the room is the leadership direction of what a team should be when they have star players and the expectations aren't being met. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, let's play this clip then. I'll play the quick part of it to start. This was Bruce Arians on Pat McAfee earlier, And we'll play the first part of it. Zach, can you pull that up for us?
Yep.
There will be wholesale changes in Baltimore this offseason. Lamar Jackson might be gone. Harbaugh might be gone. The Ravens are about to enter a completely different era. BS or no BS? BS.
That's total bullshit, brother.
What?
Whoa.
Lamar ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
And I don't think the owner's going to move anything on John. They need to get healthy, but they got to get back to the Ravens' way of defense. What I'm watching is not the Ravens. The Ravens were the toughest, baddest bunch of son bitches I've ever played against, and with Suggs. And you go all the way back to all the pass rushers they've had, Haloti Ngata and Ray Lewis, all those guys. I don't see the alpha, mean, tough dogs on the Baltimore Ravens defense. They got to get back to that, and they'll be right back.
So right there, Q. He's saying it's bullshit. Saying the Lamar part, I think we can all agree that the rumors out there, that's ridiculous. But the question's going to remain the leadership side. Bruce is saying, hey, it's not with Harbaugh. He thinks it's an identity of this team. But then other people are saying, well, the leadership of the team, that sets the tone and the culture. So maybe elaborate here, Q, on your thoughts, because that is the elephant in the room right here with 2 weeks left in the season.
So that's where I think Bruce is missing the point, and that kind of goes to where a lot of guys are seeing the John Harbaugh of old, and John will have his coach speak. John does a fabulous job of, when I want to be transparent and talk, I'm going to let you guys in. But then there's this John that is a little prickly and can be, somewhat of a dick towards some of the members of the media and kind of standoffish towards certain questions. From a bigger picture standpoint, this team for the Lamar Jackson era is an offensive team. And the defensive side of the ball, when it was built during the Lamar Jackson era, okay, you did extremely well with Kyle Hamilton. For a minute there, you did well with Roquan Smith. I think that when he first arrived and some of the extremely incredible splash plays that he made were like, wow, that's Ray Lewis-esque. His IQ was out of this world, and just, having everybody in order. Sure, for a little bit of time, Marlon Humphreys, sure. You can point to Mark Andrews for some time there in the Lamar Jackson era. Ronnie Stanley in the Lamar Jackson era. Tyler Linderbaum in the Lamar Jackson era. Matabike in the Lamar Jackson era, not quite Haloti Ngata, let's not get it twisted. You had some guys there that for a time they would show. I think to Bruce Arians' point that he's missing is that the combination of both John and Eric DaCosta is what I'm questioning. Because who is the one that is going out there cooking? John. Who's going out there and buying all the groceries? EDC. So if both of them in this era of a franchise quarterback, unlike any other, first ballot Hall of Famer, multiple MVP guy, but you can't secure properly an offensive line that can sustain excellence, especially at the guard position, Marshall Yanda and Kelechi Osemele, they ain't walking through that door.
Yeah.
And so with that said, I get what Bruce Arians is saying. Sure, John has a structure of coaching, a system and all that, but it's like, is the message getting stale in the building when you're in front of the team in your team meeting? The text messages, are they true text messages that guys are listening to, or are they just rolling their eyes on? When you give your coordinators responsibilities and such? Are you empowering them or are you stripping them down? When you are having your scouts go out there during the season and watching the different college players or the different potential free agents, are you getting guys that can truly step up and play, or are you, I want value? I was about to say a bad word. I want a compensatory pick. I want all these. I want late round. Oh, we got all these drafts. When are you gonna get a stud? Haloti Ngata was a stud. Terrell Suggs was a stud. The idea of we're going to drop back in the draft to draft more guys. Okay, so where's your studs? If you're going, even if you do, if that's your system, then you better not be all corny and tell myself, well, boy, he's going to go in the weight room and he's going to get really big and strong. And you know what? So what? He had that ACL. Look how tough he was at the combine, bench pressing. When his footwork in game is off, when his quickness to get to the second level, he can't do it. When you look at his counterpart in Faalele is struggling and his head is going over his feet multiple times in different moments throughout, not this season only, throughout even last historically offensive, amazing season. With that said, both of them have to take some level of accountability that I don't see being taken place. And so, bigger picture wise, when you look at this season, and if you are the owner of the team and you're saying, yeah, I want to win now, I'm not looking at the future and I'm not trying to be all, oh, well, you know, this, that, and the other thing with the future, but you're looking at now. Well, from a now standpoint, everyone was saying that this was a team that was Super Bowl built. Okay, so then if it's not getting there, do we just go ahead and word salad all over again? Oh, well, you know, the offseason, well, we're just going to figure out who we're going to extend, and then, you know, we'll talk to Lamar. But, you know, it's a tough thing because Lamar is his own agent, yet, you know, we're having these private conversations. And meanwhile, we're going to be CIA and meaning we're going to be all clandestine about things. And somehow, some way, we're going to come up with this great big draft plan. Or John's going to be like, oh, I'm just, you know, Todd. It's on Todd. Nope. You know, Willie Taggart. Yeah, it's Willie. Oh, y'all got to go. Oh, you know, bruh. So everybody else can make mistakes. Everybody else can get their feet held to the fire. But it's sacrilegious if we say Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh can't get their feet held to the fire. Yeah. What are we doing here? So is it win now, or is it just when number 77 gets introduced to your home crowd, they flat out boo? Yeah. And then you go in front of everybody. He's doing okay. 1 or 2 plays he would have loved to have had back. Everybody would love to have their a play or two here back. Man, come on.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Q, then I got a question. Salad. Yeah, I got a question because I know you got to wrap up and you got some missile training tonight too. You're just moving and grooving,
yes,
right?
I do.
Yeah,
yes,
so
indeed. People trying to get in their workout before the Christmas holiday festivities.
And then if they indulge a little bit, then they have to have a little bit harder missile training on the other side of the holidays here. But that, you know what, I digress. I still got to put Kevin through the missile training there. We got to figure out a date. I got to see Kevin do a little combine action too. But to the point that you just were talking about with the drafting or the you know, relationship and marriage between EDC and Harbaugh, with that aside, the Ravens, despite all of that, the reason they're in this position is they haven't closed out games, and whether or not, however you want to view it, last game it was Derrick Henry doesn't touch the ball down the stretch. But the Ravens, despite all that, could have won these games. Like, there's a lot of games that they could have or should have won. So in those specific moments, Q, is that more reflection on the in-game decisions, or is that going to the bigger picture here of like that, like if they had better pieces in place? Because I hear you on the line. I hear you on how they need to identify. But some would argue if Derrick Henry was still playing and got 3 handoffs in the last 12 minutes, the Ravens still might walk out of there with a victory. Or if the Ravens stop the Patriots and get off the field with an 11-point lead, and now it's their 12th double-digit blown lead in the last 5 years in the fourth quarter, they win. But it was the combination there. Is that in-game, or is that something deeper here that we're missing?
Both. In game, let me say it this way. The Knicks did they go to the finals, or they were in the Eastern
Conference Finals?
So they went to the Eastern Conference Final, and then they fired Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm.
So last I checked, that dude had quite the resume. That dude was an amazing, amazing coach. And they let him go. And people thought that the ownership, their ownership is nowhere near the level of Steve Bisciotti. So let's just get that out of the way. The dude is a little bit nuts, and I would not want to be an alum of the Knicks with that ownership there. I appreciate the ownership of Steve Bisciotti and how he kind of, appreciates the legacy and the franchiseness of the Ravens. Outside of that, my point is that if you look at what they are doing now with a coach, and I don't even know the coach's name, so I apologize, but I will say they are putting themselves in position to win. And yet I do know Thibodeau as the coach and what he meant and what his resume was. My point is everybody is so caught up in what John did. What is John doing? Everybody's caught up in what Eric DeCosta did. What is Eric DeCosta doing? Now, in game, that falls upon ultimately the head coach. The head coach, anybody can go up in front of the media and talk, but Bill Belichick, for example, they're playing. I'll never forget this. I thought it was really cool how they would be playing certain teams, and they flash right to that fourth quarter, and you see Bill Belichick like on the bench talking to his defense, saying, "This is what to expect. This is what we are going to see from them. If they beat us, they're going to beat us with another guy other than what their strength is." Now, that's not a coordinator talking. That's your head guy talking. Because he was so intricate in everything, and he also had the mantle of general manager, but he was intricate in everything. He's like, "Yo, man, let's leave no stone unturned." So my point is that when you hear John say it, John is saying, well, I left that up to Willie, but, if so-and-so, but then Todd, but, no. I got a headset on. It's connected up to all my people. If I see guys out there, he said, "Oh, no, there are times where I had defensive guys run in and out or whatever." All right, cool. In this particular case, you should know time, score, situations, and it's happened before. You just made the stat of, what did you say, since 2020, 12 times? That's most in NFL history. So my point is this, that yes, tactically, on the micro level and on the macro level, something is off when you have a franchise quarterback that you can't get over the hump on, and the same thing keeps happening. So if you want to repeat the same thing and say, "Hey, everything is kumbaya," and expect a different result, then I guess you're the insanity of the situation, and you don't want to get it fixed. Therefore, I'm going back to go train some people who want to get it fixed. I'll be right there with y'all.
Perfect. I think that's a good way to put it, Q. When it all settles down, we'll see how this plays out the next week or two. Go do the whole missile training. Everyone wants to find out more. Missiletraining.com. They can find you online on X. They can find you still on pre-games on Sundays. Or is it Saturday this week?
We'll be on Saturday, WJZ, and on Sunday, WJZ. Yes.
You're staying busy, Q. Appreciate you as always, man. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Q. Q.
Gosh, I love Q.
He
ain't gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah, he ain't gonna sugarcoat it at all. And without him saying what he thinks needs to be done. I think he gave an example of what he believes needs to be done. So time will tell what's going to happen here, Zach, over the next couple weeks. But one thing's for certain for the Baltimore Ravens, something is going to have to change because what has happened this year, unless a miracle which they will do a documentary on, the Ravens are going to fall short of their goal once again.
Yeah.
And it'll be a goal that they haven't achieved in 13 years. And with having one of the best players the league has seen since he took over as starting quarterback, has still not been to the Super Bowl yet. So that's kind of, I think that was a good way to put a bow on the Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I will. When Q starts ranting, I'll listen. That's the knowledge. And like I said, he doesn't sugarcoat it. He's going to say how he feels, his perspective, being with different organizations, being at the top, winning at the highest level, getting that Super Bowl. He knows what it takes. And I like the point they said, yes, there's multiple feet that probably need to be held to the fire because, John, he's cooking it up, but what ingredients is he being bought? Also, you can say that coming into the season, it looked like a 5-star restaurant had been, brought to the table, and maybe the chef failed. Maybe the ingredients weren't as great as we thought they were. Maybe they were a little expired. Had a little funky taste at some aspects, but I just changes need to be made in Baltimore. I think no matter what happens from here on out, and I'm just saying the gravity of the changes will be determined by how they finish the season.
For sure.
But even let's say they do keep Harbaugh, DeCosta, all that. I don't see them getting rid of DeCosta. I know that's been like a new thing. I would be floored if they got rid of DeCosta. Even if they were to keep Harbaugh, I would not be surprised at all if we see a lot of different coaches leaving and being brought in. Something's got to change.
Well, and here's the part to wrap this up is, all the people, right? It's just taking out the Harbaugh's. John is a really good dude. And I have appreciated the time getting to know him over the years. But as we know in this business, Zach, you're going to be judged by the results of what happens on the field. And when you have success over time, you're going to have more opportunities because you've earned that right. And the bigger thing here to look at and examine is, and I know what Q's saying about with the Ravens and with talent, but still, despite that, EDC and the talent that they had, from a lot of people around the league, viewed this team as one of the most talented no matter what. And despite the flaws of the team, the answer is, in the game, did the Ravens have more opportunities to win than to lose? And the answer is yes. The Bills game, this last game against the Patriots, the Steelers home game, and then mixed in there, you get embarrassed on Thanksgiving night in Baltimore. You lose at home against the Lions on a primetime opportunity. There's multiple moments here where the Ravens had the chances, and the old Ravens would have won. The Ravens 2 or 3 years ago probably would have won, but it's not the Ravens from 2 or 3 years ago. The current Ravens had their chances and had their worst record, Zach, right? In home record in the history of the team.
Yeah. Just abysmal. It's disappointing, And
here's the thing. You beat Pittsburgh or you win last night, you're still on the trajectory to still win this division, and this hope at least is there. Right now it's so doom and gloom because of the position that they put themselves in, sadly. Yeah. So
we're at the point right now where it's like you said, I think expectations and just the standard of being the Baltimore Ravens and what that means, even if the Ravens don't win the Super Bowl, there's a standard that they're going to be competing for the North. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs. even in Lamar's shortcomings, it's been a lot of blown leads, unfortunately. It's been a lot of last-second losses, which not fun, but it's a tough out. I mean, heck, even with Tyler Huntley, they were a tough out. I think the issue is it feels like that culture is not here right now. And I like that Q said it. It just sometimes you got to look at where's the message and is that getting through to people the same way it did? Because no one questioned the message in 2012 when they were hoisting the Lombardi, but 13 years removed from that, is the same message as the league evolved past that message? We'll find out.
Absolutely. Well, I think that does it, Zach. That puts a bow on this Christmas Eve. We'll be back at it after the holidays, so no show tomorrow or Thursday. We'll see about Friday, just given, the timing of all these things. But for everyone that's wondering, this is the Ryan Ripken Show. We're going to be live 5 days a week going into 2026. We will be changing our time, but we're live on YouTube, X, and Facebook. And the reason why we're changing our time is because when the new year hits, well, when we get into the end of March, it's baseball season. And baseball season requires a different schedule. But we're still going to be giving you more content than we've ever given so far. And it's because of the success and really the audience that has grown with us. Without you guys, this isn't possible. So thank you for allowing us to grow more. And thank you for being a part of the Ryan Ripken Show and our channel members. We appreciate you. And we got a lot more in store here in 2026. Anything else, Zach? Final word?
No. Merry Christmas, everyone. Enjoy your holiday. And let's see what happens.
One time for the one time. Let's see if the music works. Is it working?
Yeah, it's working a little bit.
A little bit.
Bow, bow. But yeah, it was just faded for a second. Bow.
Well, as always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate each and every one of you. Have a day, have a night, have a great stinking holiday. Be good, be safe. Yeah, relax and enjoy yourself. You want to have that extra piece of eggnog or Christmas cake? I don't know what the hell I'm saying.
Extra
be good,
piece
be
of
safe.
eggnog.
There it is. How you doing? Be good, be safe. Talk to you guys.